Hey guys, let me read you a story of Sarah and Jude. How your path cross. Without wasting much of your time, let me just dive right into this. Sarah wasn't looking for love. In fact, she had just come out of a long season of healing, emotionally wounded but spiritually strong. She had poured herself into her job as a school counselor, spending her days encouraging young minds and her evening praying and volunteering at a church community outreach. Jude, on the other hand, was new in town, a quiet, steady man who had just taken a position as a media director at a local non-profit. He wasn't flashy. He preferred deep conversation over coffee or a loud social event. He had been praying not just for someone to love, but someone who shared the same heartbeat, faith, purpose, and authenticity. They met on a rainy Saturday afternoon at a local book cafe called The Lampstand. Sarah was caught up in a corner with a book on a childhood trauma. Jude was at the next table editing videos of footage on his laptop. He noticed her eyes were fixed, intense, but when the barrister accidentally spilled a drink near her face, Jude stood up to help, and their eyes met for the first time. Thanks, Sarah said with a gentle smile, whipping her shoes. No problem, Jude replied, a little surprised by how soft her voice was. That's that's a great book, by the way. Reading it during my counseling certification last year, Sarah eyebrow lifted. You're into counseling? He shook. More like media for counselors. I create digital content for family-focused programs, but hey, I've read a few FV books. Yeah. That brief exchange turned into a conversation that lasted 2 hours. They talk about work, purpose, faith, and childhood. They discover they had mutual friends from church but had never crossed paths before. They laughed easily, listened deeply. Before they left, Jude asked, can I give you my number? I would love to hear your thoughts on a project I'm working on about emotional healing. Serious mind, sure, but only if you're open to my honest thoughts. They started collaborating on small things, videos, scripts, outreach, ideas, but the real conversation was off camera. They prayed together, they challenged each other spiritually. They had awkward silence that they had an awkward silence that turned into a peaceful understanding. They had different personality, but the same values. 3 months into it, Jude asked her, can I take you to dinner? Yeah. Not to work, not to plan, but just to be with you. Serious mind knowing what he meant. From there, it wasn't dramatic, it was intentional. Jude pursued her with respect. Sarah let him in slowly with grace. They shared not just chemistry but clarity. They knew what they were building, something real, something lasting. A year later, in the same cafe where they met, Jude proposed. With tears in her eyes, Sarah said, yeah, yes. Because in a world full of distraction, God had aligned their hearts at just the right time. And they chose each other. So, this is the end of the story. Would you like to hear more? Yeah, I'll be reading this more often right from my computer. So thanks for listening. Kindly like, share, subscribe. I love you guys and I cherish you. So bye for now.